Welcome to this tutorial video again. This is for class 3, chapter 2. Before we move to this second session, let me give you some information about the book. I hope all of you have bought the book. Book is same, it is not changed what we were using in the last year. Name of the book is Logics. It is from CAPES. So let's start the second session. Today we will start with some video recaps about the first session. So let's see some video recaps or visual recaps about the first session. Then we will move to the second session of this video. So let's see the visual recap about first session. The name of the chapter, second chapter is GUI operating system and introduction. Already we have discussed it in the first session. What is GUI? Graphical user interface. What is interface? The commands or menus through which a user interacts with the computer. So let's see a visual recap. This is the name of the chapter. Children, do you know who takes care of all the household jobs at your home? Yes, you have guessed right. What you have guessed? Your parents look after all the household activities in such a manner that you do not have to worry about them. It all because they organize and run the house with a system. Likewise, a computer has a special set of programs which manages all the jobs for the computer and makes it run. This is known as operating system. These are the some pictures of operating systems. You know, this is for Android, this is Linux, this is Windows, etc. So, without an operating system, a computer cannot work on its own. As we have already discussed, without an operating system, computer cannot work on its own. Why? Because computer doesn't understand our language, and similarly we don't understand computer's language. So, in between user and computer, there is a program called operating system who translates for each other in their languages. So that is why without operating system we cannot use the computer, or computer cannot work on its own. Now let's move forward. Windows, Mac, Linux, etc. are some of the most popular operating systems. Windows, Mac, Linux are the examples of operating systems. Now basically an operating system acts as a link between the user and the hardware. This link is called interface. Now the fact file, but you will see this. William Bill H. Gates means Bill Gates. Who is Bill Gates? He is the founder of Microsoft company, Microsoft Corporation, the world's leading software company. Bill Gates. Now see what is user interface. Already we have discussed. You have learned that a printer is used to print information on a paper. Can you tell the way as to how you can communicate with a printer attached to your computer? How do you instruct it to print a document? To give instructions for printing a document, you either type some commands, press a set of keys, or click a few buttons. These commands or menus through which a user communicates with an external drive or programs are called user interface. As we have already discussed, suppose you want to print a document, but question is how can you give your commands to the printer, to the hardware to print? Either you are writing to print, either you are clicking on the menus, or whatever the process you are using to give your instructions. That process, that is called interface. The way you are instructing the computer, the way you are instructing the hardware to do your work, that is called interface. User interface or simply interface. Now, types of user interface or interface. Already we have discussed there are two main types of interface. One is GUI, another is CLI, command line interface and graphical user interface. You have just seen in CLI, black screen, white written something, that is called CLI, command line interface. All the instructions you have to give through writing commands, through keyboard. You cannot click anywhere. Your mouse will not work in CLI mode, command line interface mode. In graphical user interface, where you will see the colorful screens, many buttons, many menus, all the list of programs where you can click and use your program. This is the advantage of GUI, graphical user interface or GUI. Let's see about CLI. This is the user interface of CLI, where all things are given written. A command line interface, it is a text based. Example of text-based interface or text-based operating system is MS-DOS, Microsoft Disk Operating System. This operating system was based on CLI, where all the work is done through writing command, text-based command. CLI, DOS is an example of CLI. Now come to GUI. A graphical user interface provides picture-oriented way to interact with the hardware. This includes menus, toolbars, pictures, windows, icons, buttons and other controls. Sorry. Okay, so in GUI includes menus, toolbars, pictures, icons, buttons and other controls, enables you to use it through your mouse. Just make a few clicks, you can use all this. This is the advantage of GUI. It requires the use of a pointing device like mouse. You need only mouse to use a GUI. Example, Windows. Now let's talk about Windows 7. Windows 7 is an operating system developed by Microsoft, world's leading software company. Already we have talked. It provides a graphical user interface, GUI, that makes the interaction between the computer and the user easy. Already we have discussed. Windows got its name from a glass window, as its interface resembles a glass window, through which we can see and have. Let's see once again. It provides a graphical user interface. Already you know. Now why it is called Windows. Now let's see once again. Windows got its name from a glass window, as its interface resembles a glass window through which we can see and have different views. That is why. Now let's talk about Windows 7. Windows 7 is the most popular version of Windows and it was released on October 22nd, 2009. When it was released, Windows 7 was released on October 22nd in the year 2009. Let's see the fact file, what is given in a small box in your book. Same like this. What is written? Windows 10 is the latest version of Windows. Now children, you should know what is the latest version of Windows. According to your book, it is written Windows 10 is the latest version of Windows. Now let's move forward. From here, we will start the new session, this session, second session of our tutorial video. The name of the topic is switching on a computer. How can you switch on a computer? Which are the steps you have to follow if you want to switch on a computer? Let's see what you have to do. To start a computer, follow these steps. First, switch on the main power supply button. Then switch on the UPS. This is called UPS. What is the use of UPS? UPS gives backup when your power goes off. So it gives time to shut down your computer. That is why it is called UPS, uninterrupted power supply. Full form of UPS is uninterrupted power supply. If power goes off, then it gives you some time to shut down your program and computer. Now let's move. First switch on the power supply, then switch on the UPS. Now switch on the CPU. Then at the last, switch on the monitor and wait for some time to for the screen. So again I am repeating the steps how to switch on. Which are the steps you have to follow? First step is switch on the power supply, then switch on the UPS, then switch on the CPU, and the last switch on the monitor. Then you have to wait some time for your desktop when it starts. Now you will find a welcome screen of Windows in front of you. Okay. Now let's move forward. So this is how the computer starts. When you switch on, welcome screen comes, then Windows computer is ready to use. Now see what is desktop. and its components. Components means what is desktop and its various sections, various parts. Desktop is the first screen of computer. When you switch on the computer, after switching on the computer, when your computer is ready, that time the first screen what you see in front of you with many colorful icons, small pictures, that is called desktop. Now let's see what is written here in the book. When we switch on a computer, Windows starts automatically. The first screen that appears with labeled pictures on it is called desktop. Now let's see the various components of desktop. First is icon. What is icon? Icons are the small labeled pictures or symbols present on the desktop. Icons are the small labeled pictures or symbols present on the desktop. These all small pictures what you can see, these all are known as icons. This is the icon, this is also one icon, this is the computer icon. All small pictures are known as icons. Now what is this? Icon represents, one icon represents one program. So all the icons we can say that these are the programs stored in your computer. Icons are the small pictures for the programs stored in your computer. Now let's see. These icons are used to open specific programs or documents. Now you can understand the concept of icons and desktop with the help of an example. What type of example is given in your book? When you go to the kitchen and open a cupboard, you find various labeled this type of things in the boxes. This cupboard works like windows and the label boxes work like icons. Now the taskbar. What is taskbar? This horizontal bar, a long horizontal bar at the bottom of the desktop is known as taskbar. A taskbar is a long horizontal bar appears at the bottom of the desktop where you can see the start button at the left side and notification area at the right side. So what is taskbar? It is a long horizontal bar appears at the bottom of the desktop. Now let's see. It has the start button on the left side and middle section of the taskbar shows the buttons with labeled programs. This is known as, this middle section is known for quick launch bar and the right side is known as notification area. So we can add or remove any program to this middle part which is known as quick launch bar. You can add any program as well as you can remove the programs from here, from the middle part. When an application is active, its button is highlighted on the taskbar like this. This program is activated, so this icon will be little bit highlighting. It shows that this program is activated now. It is in use. Okay. The right side of the taskbar is known as notification area. Just now we have discussed this one, this right side, extreme right corner, right side. This is known as notification area where you can see the volume icon, means speakers icon, date and time, battery icon, battery status. These things are present in the notification area which includes clock, volume, etc. Now let's move. Okay. So network connectivity also present in the notification area. Okay. Now the show desktop button is present on the extreme right of the taskbar. You can see the last of the taskbar, extreme right corner. This is known as show desktop button. What is the use of show desktop button? Now, clicking on this button to minimize all the open windows and view the desktop. If you click the show desktop button, all the open windows will be minimized and you can see your desktop in front of you. This is the use of that button. Okay, now let's see another box that know the fact what is given in this box. Quick Launch Toolbar is an area of the taskbar that holds shortcuts to your frequently used programs. These programs can be opened with a single click. It is located to the right side of the start button. This is known as quick launch programs. Now let's see about start button. What is the start button? To open the start button, bring the mouse pointer on the start button and click on it. You will see the start menu. Okay, the start menu will be in front of you, where you can see all the programs, documents, what is stored in the computer. Okay. Now quick view. Let's see what is given in quick view. The start menu can also be opened by pressing the Windows key on the keyboard. Start menu can be also opened by the pressing Windows key of your keyboard. This is the Windows key. If you can see on the keyboard, it is present at the left side of your keyboard. That is known as Windows key. So you can use the taskbar. You can use the start menu by pressing the Windows key on your keyboard. Okay. Now basic operations on the desktop. So basic operations on the desktop means what you can do on the desktop. Some of them we will see here now. Let's see what you can do. The basic. Selecting and deselecting the icons. Selecting means when you single click on any program. I think you have studied it in class 1. Single click is used to select an item and double click is used to select open a program. So selecting means when you are clicking one time over any icon, that program, that icon will be selected. Now deselecting means removing from the selection. How you can do this? By clicking outside of the icon. Now let's see. Selecting icon. To select an icon, simply click on it like this. It will be highlighted and means it is selected. How to select? Simply click over any icon. It will be highlighted, means this program or that icon will be selected. That is selected. Now deselecting an icon. To deselect an icon, click away from it. Just click anywhere in the blank area. Suppose you have selected this by single click. If you don't want to select it, if you want deselect it, just click outside of this. Click anywhere in the blank area of the desktop. That icon will be deselected again. The icon will now be displayed in its original form, means it is deselected. Now selecting adjacent and non-adjacent icons. Now let's see. Select an adjacent icon. Adjacent means continue, one after one, either this way or this way. So adjacent means continuing, left to right or top to bottom, whatever you are selecting, continue form, back to back. How to select adjacent items? First, so what you have to do if you want to select adjacent items? Let's see. Left click on the first item to be selected. If you want to select few icons continuously, like adjacent icons, few adjacent icons, what you have to do? You have to single click or left click on the first icon, left side. Now you have to click at the last icon. Okay, hold down the shift key and click on the last item. How to select adjacent icons? Left click on the first icon, then press and hold the shift key of your keyboard and click the last icon here. This was the first icon left side and this was the last icon at the bottom right. During this, don't forget to press and hold the shift key. So first click the first icon, then press and hold the shift key on the keyboard and click the last icon. Then you can see from here to here, from top to bottom, all the icons which are continuously placed one after one, back to back, all are selected. So this process is called selecting the adjacent icon. Again I repeat, how to do this? Click the first icon, press and hold the shift key and click the last icon. All the icons, adjacent icon will be selected. So in this video, we are just coming to an end. So we will see you in the next video. You will get some assignment related to our topic, what we have discussed today. Till then, goodbye.